Are you thinking about acquiring your very own vacation rental investment property? Here's some things to consider that just might help you with that decision. Number one, primary advice for those looking to jump into the world of vacation rental investments: start small. It's like dipping your toes into the water before you dive right into the deep end. By beginning with a single property, you give yourself a chance to understand the industry better, to feel the rhythm and flow, and most importantly, to grasp the unique challenges and opportunities it presents. But starting small isn't just about mitigating risks. It's about mastering the nitty-gritty of the vacation rental business, maintenance of the property, dealing with tenants, managing bookings, all these things that can seem overwhelming at first. But when you start with just one property, you learn on the job, and before you know it, you're a pro, ready to handle more. And let's not forget about market familiarity. When you start small, you can watch how your property performs throughout the year, see when demand peaks, and when it ebbs away. This valuable insight will help you refine your strategies and make data-driven decisions when you're ready to expand your investment portfolio. For our area, the Fort Walton Beach Emerald Coast area, peak demand is going to be basically when the kids are out of school, summer and spring break. We do get snowbird business during the winter months, but not nearly to the degree of the short-term rentals during spring break and summer. It's also very important to understand local laws and regulations, which can be tricky sometimes. Some areas have restrictions or even outright bans on short-term rentals, especially those that use platforms like Airbnb or VRBO. So don't forget to double-check the local zoning laws before you sign on that dotted line, and make sure your grand vacation rental plans are indeed legal. Number two, choosing the right location. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? Well, it might be, but it's not as simple as it sounds. Let's break it down. Don't just pick a location because it's popular with tourists or because it's somewhere that you think is the best place ever. It's important to research that local property market, things like average rental rates, occupancy levels, and growth potential. You're not just buying a vacation home, you're investing in a business, so you need to understand the numbers thoroughly. But there's more to location than just statistics. Consider areas that have a unique draw, natural beauty, historical significance, cultural attractions, or perhaps year-round sports activities. Why is this important? Well, properties in these locations tend to have higher occupancy rates and can command higher rental fees, not to mention they're typically more resilient to market fluctuations. And another key point, proximity matters. Managing a rental property remotely can be quite a challenge. You have to think about maintenance, emergency repairs, and even just the routine task of welcoming guests and ensuring the property is cleaned after each stay. Consider a location that's not too far from your own residence, especially if you're new to the vacation rental game. As soon as you can afford to, I would recommend having the unit managed professionally. A good property manager can reduce a lot of stress and headaches with guests renting your unit. Of course, you'll be paying them a percentage, but using a professional, reliable property manager is well worth it in my opinion. And let's not forget about future growth potential. It's important to keep an eye out for upcoming developments or improvements to the infrastructure in the area that might boost the value of your property over time. Right here in Fort Walton Beach, we have quite a significant infrastructure project underway. The Brooks Bridge that connects Fort Walton Beach to Okaloosa Island is being replaced. It will have more lanes than the current old bridge that we are still using and should help traffic flow better. I'll be giving progress updates on that project on my monthly Market Minute as they become available. You might want to consider subscribing just to not miss out. You can always unsubscribe later. Presence of public transportation, shopping centers, and other amenities can also significantly enhance your property's appeal. Number three, now we've covered starting small and choosing the right location, let's move on to our third point, financing your beach condo. Vacation rental investors often start by tapping into their existing assets. That could mean using home equity loans or cashing in on profits you made in other real estate investments, or even from the stock market. There's really no one-size-fits-all approach here. The key is to look at your personal financial situation and decide what makes the most sense for you. Here's where things get a bit more intricate. If you're planning to finance your property, you should know that it's not as easy as it was back in 2005. Lenders are more cautious these days, which means you'll have to come to the table with more serious credentials, good credit, low overhead, a steady income, and living below your means are all central factors that lenders look for. It's not just about your ability to pay back the loan, but also your financial stability overall. Obtaining financing for a vacation rental property, especially a beach condo, can be quite different from getting a mortgage for your primary home. Banks often view such properties as higher risk, since you won't be living there full time. This means that you may face stricter lending requirements and possibly higher interest rates too. Another thing to consider is who should you approach for financing. Local lenders often have a better understanding of the resort area's property market. They are familiar with local zoning laws, rental demand, and property values, which can be beneficial when you're seeking financing. And remember that you'll need to have some skin in the game. Banks are looking for solid borrowers. That means having a good credit score, steady income, and low debt. You'll likely need to put down a significant down payment too, especially if you're a first-time investor. Remember, every financial situation is unique. So do your research and consult with a financial advisor to ensure you're making the wisest decision for your circumstances. Number 4, it's very important to have an understanding of local regulations. If you plan on investing in short-term rental properties such as Airbnb or VRBO listings, you always need to check the local zoning rules before buying. This might seem like a small detail, but it's a crucial step that can prevent unwelcome surprises down the line. Remember, not every area allows short-term rentals. The last thing you want is to find yourself on the wrong side of the law. Some regions have strict regulations on how properties can be rented out. This might restrict the number of days per year you can rent, the number of guests you can accommodate, and so on. Ignoring these regulations could lead to hefty fines or even legal troubles, which is why it is very important to have an understanding of the local regulations. As for this area on Oculus Island, short-term rentals are allowed on the Gulf side where most of the condominiums are. But on the other side of the island, the Intracoastal Waterway side, short-term rentals are not allowed. So don't buy a house there and then plan to use it as an Airbnb or a VRBO. How do you go about checking these regulations? One way is to consult with a local real estate expert or a real estate attorney. They'll be familiar with the laws in your area and can guide you accordingly. Alternatively, you can also do your research online or directly contact the local authorities for clarification. So now you own a vacation rental investment property. When should you use it for yourself and your family? Owners usually visit their own properties during the off-season. Short-term rental prices tend to fluctuate throughout the year, and you don't want to miss out on those peak rates during the height of tourist season. Plus, in our area, during the off-season, it wouldn't be as hot weather-wise, and there will be far less traffic and people to deal with. Other things to expect? The guest, while they may help pay your mortgage and add to your income stream, may not always be as considerate of your property as you, the owner, are. Things will wear out, things will get broken, and some items might even come up missing. There will be repair costs you didn't count on, and if there's an HOA, you could be hit with a pricey assessment fee. I'll have more on that in an upcoming video. The road to property investment isn't always smooth, but with the right advice and careful planning, it's a journey that can lead to significant rewards. I'm Michael Pancher, realtor in the Fort Walton Beach Emerald Coast area. If you'd like to know more about any specific community or the local market, feel free to contact me. All my information is down in the description below. There's even a link to book a time for a Zoom call or a phone call. Here's another video to check out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.